The ballroom doors close behind them. The noise muffles instantly. Applause becomes memory. Flashbulbs become echoes. The night air is cooler than expected. Caleb opens the car door for her. No flourish. No commentary. Just presence. She slides into the passenger seat. The door shuts. And suddenly, silence. The driver pulls away from the curb. City lights streak across the window like dissolving chandeliers. For a moment, neither of them speaks. Naomi stares forward. Her reflection in the glass looks composed, but her eyes are still processing. As the driver pulls away, she thinks she hears Evan yelling her name. She almost looks back. Almost. Caleb loosens his bow tie slightly. Not careless, just breathing again.
You were magnificent.
That's not the word I would have chosen.
I meant to say unshaken.
She doesn't answer. The streetlights pass in rhythm. Tick, tick, tick.
You don't have to pretend with me.
I'm not pretending. I just didn't expect it to feel like that. Like being priced.
The word lands gently between them. Caleb's jaw tightens. That was orchestrated. She finally looks at him. I know. And you stayed. He responds. I stayed, she says. A breath. I couldn't let them see me shrink. He studies her carefully. You don't shrink, he says. There is no flirtation in it, just fact. Call it fact. The city goes quiet. After a moment, she asks, why did you bid? He doesn't hesitate. Because I wanted to. That's not what I meant, she says. He exhales softly. I wasn't going to let them reduce you to pocket change. She watches him. And if he hadn't bid, his eyes flicker. I would have kept going. There's no bravado, only truth. Silence again. Then he said the letter wasn't his. Her voice is softer now, more vulnerable. Caleb doesn't react immediately.
Mind me asking, what did the letter say?
He said I was a distraction, a moment that should not have happened.
The word sounds different in the car. Less sharp, more fragile. He looks out the window briefly, then back at her. That doesn't sound like him. Her eyes narrow slightly. You defend him easily. I defend what I know. And what do you know? That he's many things, Caleb says evenly. But careless with you isn't one of them. That lands. She leans back against the seat. The tension shifts. Not gone, transformed. I don't know what to feel right now, she admits quietly. He doesn't rush to fill the space. Good. You don't have to, he says. The car slows as they approach her house. Streetlights glow softer here. More human. He turns to her fully now. And for a moment, the quiet becomes charged, not dramatic, not cinematic, just charged. She feels it. The awareness, the closeness, the fact that tonight changed something. He reaches up gently, brushes a loose strand of hair back from her face. The gesture is careful, permission-seeking without asking. She doesn't pull away. Her breath changes, almost gradually. You deserved better tonight, he says. Before she could respond, he leans in, slow, considered, and presses a kiss on her cheek. Not lingering, just enough, not claiming. He pulls back first. The air between them hums. She's surprised, but not alarmed. There's something warm in the surprise, something that doesn't feel wrong. Good night, Naomi. She blinks once. Good night, Caleb. She steps out the car. The door closes softly. He watches her walk inside. Only when she disappears does he exhale. Inside the building, she pauses, touches her cheek, confused, drawn, still loving Evan, and yet something new has begun quietly. dangerously. The bar is dim, too modern, too young, too loud for her gown. Ivory silk against dark leather, chandelier earrings catching cheap light. She looks misplaced, like a museum piece dropped into noise. Her driver stands near the door, not intruding, watching, always watching. Jade sits at the bar, still perfectly upright, still composed. "Champagne," she says. Her voice does not shake. Bartender hesitates, then pours. She takes the glass, drinks too fast. "Another." A couple seated nearby glance at her. They recognize her. Of course they do. Everyone saw. Phones were out. She stares at her reflection in the back mirror. Perfect hair, perfect makeup, perfect control, except her eyes. Her eyes are red. How could this happen? She replays it. The paddles, the number, the silence. $1 million. Her smile had frozen. She remembers the cameras, the flash catching her face before she could fix it. He didn't even bid. Not once. Not even symbolically. She laughs once, short, humorless. He left me there, she says quietly. The bartender looks up. "I'm sorry?" She doesn't look at him. "He left me there." The couple beside her pretend not to listen, but they are. "He was supposed to..." She trails off. She straightens slightly. Composure tries to return. "He was supposed to understand the optics," she says. There it is. Justification. This was strategic. She nods to herself. "Yes, it was optics," the bartender offers gently. Sometimes people don't think in the moment. She looks at him sharply now.
No, he thought. He chose. He chose her. That girl, that nobody. She grew up in their house, and now she walks in like she owns it. And that Caleb, as if his mother isn't just an actress.
Not legacy, not blood, not lineage.
And he bids? He bids against Evan? They don't even belong.
The bartender says softly, "Belong where?" She freezes. The question lingers. She blinks and something shifts.
I was raised to be the center, to be the answer, to be the one everyone wanted. I don't know how to be second.
Her eyes fill. The couple beside her exchange a look. The woman reaches over slightly. "It looked intense tonight," she says carefully. Jade nods too fast.
They humiliated me in front of everyone. I felt like no one protected me. I should not be jealous of a servant's daughter. But I am.
There it is. Not rage, abandonment. She blinks back tears. The bartender slides a glass of water towards her. She ignores it at first, then takes it. Her hands are shaking now. She exhales sharply, and suddenly,
I wish I did have to perform all the time.
the words hang. Even she looks surprised she said it. The couple goes quiet. The bartender doesn't speak because he knows this is real. For 1 second, the mask is gone. Then she straightens, wipes under her eyes carefully, checks her reflection, repairs the posture, repairs the mouth, repairs the heiress. Her driver approaches gently. "Miss Choi," he says softly, "are you all right?" She stands. "Yes." She nods once. "Of course." Her voice is cool again, controlled. "Let's go home." As she walks toward the door, there is something new in her eyes. Not sadness, not confusion, resolve. If she cannot be chosen, she will control the choosing. The door closes behind her. and the night feels colder. The park estate is silent when Evan returns. No music, no staff visible, no warmth. The chandeliers are dimmed. The house feels less like a home, more like a tribunal. Mrs. Park is in the sitting room, still in her gown, diamonds glinting on her ears. Perfect, untouched by the evening. She does not look up immediately when he enters. She pours herself tea, studied, unhurried. Evan stands in front of her an hour later. She does not invite him to sit. She stands, and she circles him once, slowly, as if assessing damage. "You've always had a soft spot for that girl," she says. "Not Naomi, that girl." Evan's spine stiffens.
Be careful.
Mrs. Park stops in front of him. "Oh," she replies. "Careful how?"
With what you imply. And how you say it.
Seo-jun, if you wanted to sleep with the maid's daughter, you should have told me. I would have arranged it. Paid the family off. It would have been discreet.
The words land like a slap. Evan's breath catches. The room tilts for a second.
That's enough.
His voice is still controlled, but thinner now. Mrs. Park tilts her head. "Enough honesty?"
You know nothing about how I feel about Naomi. And I would never have allowed her to be degraded and reduced to a fling.
Don't tell me you're in love with her?
His jaw clenches. His hands curl at his sides. He does not answer, and that silence tells her everything. She studies him.
I raised a dreamer. A dreamer who falls in love with a girl who happened to get into one of the best schools known to man.
You paid for it. You endorsed it. You praised it. From your own mouth. Or did you forget that you funded her full tuition?
Her eyes flash. "Excuse me?" Silence drops hard. The air shifts. Mrs. Park's lips curve into something colder.
You embarrassed this family tonight. Must I forget how a letter bearing my seal and signature appeared in her acceptance packet?
Evan doesn't blink. He doesn't move.
Or how reporters just happened to arrive at my home, knowing exactly what to ask, coring me into supporting that girl's entire future.
Evan seems to know his mother very well.
And I let it slide because public opinion matters too much to me. Yes, Evan. Seo-jun, I know what you did. Now I have to deal with allowing my son to have affection for a servant's daughter.
The name lands heavier than his title ever did. Evan's chest tightens. He remembers that day. The calculated leak, the pressure, the gamble. You know your mother very well. This is no longer ice. It is flame under glass. Something inside him snaps. Not explosive, not wild, but final.
She is not a servant. She is not beneath you. Or me. Or anyone in that room.
Mrs. Park's expression hardens. Your father cannot even be in the same room as you tonight, she says coldly. After that fiasco. The word cuts. Fiasco. $1 million, she continues. In front of donors, media, the board. He doesn't flinch. I would have bid 10. Her composure falters. Just slightly. You embarrassed this family. No, he says. His voice is no longer controlled. It is steady, grounded. I refused to let you humiliate someone I respect. Respect, she repeats. As if that girl understands this world. She understands it better than you, he says. The room goes very quiet. That lands deep. Mrs. Park inhales slowly, and then, before the control returns, her hand moves, striking him across the face, sharp, precise. The sound cracks through the room. Evan's head turns slightly with the impact. Silence follows, immediate, heavy. Even she didn't plan that. Her hand lowers, slow, not shaking, but not as steady as before. Evan doesn't touch his face, doesn't react outwardly. He turns his head back to her, meets her eyes, and what's there now is not anger, it's distance, something final. Mrs. Park sees it, and she recalibrates instantly. Something inside him has settled, and she knows that didn't bring him back. It pushed him further away. When she speaks again, her voice is quieter, colder. You are confusing rebellion with morality. The room goes very quiet. That lands deep. Mrs. Park inhales slowly, collects herself. When she speaks again, her voice is quiet, devastating. Evan's breathing slows. I'm done confusing obedience with love. Silence. Long, heavy. You will dismantle generations of work, she says quietly, for a feeling. It isn't a feeling. His voice lowers now, not raised, resolved. It's conviction. She looks at him, really looks at him, and for the first time she sees she's losing something she cannot command back. Leave, she says, not loud, just final. I cannot look at you right now. Evan does not argue. He does not bow. He does not apologize. He turns, walks toward the door. With every step, something settles inside of him. He has revealed too much of his heart without saying the words, and now he understands the cost of silence. As he reaches the door, she speaks once more. If you choose her, she says softly, you choose against us. He stops, but he does not turn around. You made that choice first, he replies. Then he leaves. The door closes, and the silence that follows. Mrs. Park stands very still, alone, perfect, but no longer untouched. And now she is learning that inheritance can still be challenged. As the Saturday morning light peeks through her blinds, Naomi Ellison answers the door barefoot, hoodie pulled over silk pajamas, hair twisted up carelessly, a spoon resting between her teeth. She opens the door expecting a delivery. Instead, Evan Seojin Park stands there. No suit, no entourage, no distance. He's wearing jeans, a simple crew neck, and he's holding flowers. Real ones. Peonies and lavender. Not arranged for cameras, not excessive, not curated to impress, just thoughtful. For a second, neither of them speaks. The morning light hits him differently than ballroom lighting. Softer, human. Naomi lowers the spoon slowly. Mr. Park, she says. How did you? Evan smiles. Not corporate, not strategic. There she is, he whispers. The words slip out before he can stop them. She blinks. Excuse me? She says. He shakes his head slightly. Sorry, he says. That wasn't formal enough, was it? Her eyes narrow slightly. She's watching him, assessing. Why are you answering your door? He asks slightly. You're a CEO. Someone should be screening visitors. Unlike you, she replies evenly. I'm fine doing things myself. A higher position isn't going to change everything in my life. He nods once. I was hoping it wouldn't, he says with a smile. He glances past her in the house. Well, he asks, are you going to let me in? She hesitates. Not because she doesn't want to, because she doesn't know what this is. He notices. Of course he notices. If you want me to leave, he says quietly, I will. That lands. She steps aside. Come in. He crosses the threshold slowly. He doesn't scan the house like a critic. He absorbs it. Warm wood floors, a blanket thrown over the couch, sunlight on real surfaces, a home that doesn't perform, and then a blur of fur burrows toward him. A dog, tail wagging violently. Evan freezes. Naomi's eyes widen. Oh, the dog presses its nose into Evan's leg and drops into a dramatic play bow. Evan looks at her, stunned. She shrugs. What? I love dogs. He crouches slowly, lets the dog sniff his hand. Well, he says under his breath, scratching behind its ears. That explains the loyalty. She pretends not to hear that. He stands again, and this time he notices the walls. Family photos, her parents laughing, cousins, graduation snapshots, ocean wind tangling her hair in one frame. A life, full, unapologetic, not curated. He swallows. There's so much he doesn't know and wants to. Naomi clears her throat. So, she says automatically. About the board, no, he says gently. She stops. What? He turns to face her fully. Not today. Her brow knits together. Then why are you here? He exhales slowly, because this is the moment.
No, not today. Today, I don't want Mr. Park, I don't want Miss Ellison. Just a man and a woman existing in the same space.
She tilts her head. And is that safe? There it is, the mistrust, the letter, the auction, the humiliation. He doesn't deflect it. I won't ask for anything you don't offer, he says quietly, and I won't disappear on you again. Her breath shifts slightly. You disappeared before? She asks. He holds her gaze. I hid, he corrects. That won't happen again. The air changes, less playful, more real. She crosses her arms loosely. And what does this weekend look like? He smiles faintly.
I planned it. Saturday, breakfast. Mostly likely a place you have not had the time to go to.
Her eyes widen slightly. You planned? Then a drive. She almost smiles. To where? You'll see. She squints at him. This sounds suspicious. It's intentional, he replies. And tomorrow? He hesitates just long enough to make it meaningful. Tomorrow is slower. She watches him carefully. You're very confident for someone who was just accused of writing a devastating letter. The warmth cools. He doesn't look away. I didn't write that, he says quietly. I know. That surprises him. She continues, or at least I'm starting to, a bit. But I need to understand how something like that could happen. And you will, he says. No defensiveness, just promise. Silence settles, not awkward, charged. She looks down at the flowers. And those? He finally remembers them. Yes, he says. Those are for you. She takes them. Their fingers brush. It's small but electric. He feels it, she feels it. The dog barks once as if annoyed by the tension. They both laugh, and the laugh softens everything. Just enough. She sets the flowers in water. He watches her move around her own kitchen, unfiltered, barefoot, unaware that he's memorizing it. Are you staying? She asks finally. For as long as you let me, he answers. That's honest. Too honest. She turns toward him, slowly. Evan, she says. Not Mr. Park, just Evan. You don't get to win me back in 48 hours. He nods. I know, but I'm willing to start. The room is quiet. Morning light wrapping around them. And for the first time since the gala, the tension isn't about power. It's about proximity. Naomi fills the kettle and sets it on the stove. The quiet hum of morning settles back into the house. Evan stands near the counter, hands loosely in his pockets, watching her move through her own kitchen like it's choreography she's practiced for years. No hesitation, no performance, just life. The dog presses his nose against his knee again, tail wagging. Evan glances down. "Well," he murmurs, scratching behind his ears. "You're persistent." The dog collapses happily at his feet. Naomi turns, catching the moment. "Careful," she says. "With what?" "He'll adopt you if you keep doing that." Evan glances down at the dog again. "That sounds like a threat." "It's a warning." She slides a plate toward him. Scrambled eggs, a slice of toast. Nothing elaborate, just warm. He looks at the plate, then at her. "You interrupted breakfast," she says. "I'm willing to accept that responsibility." She pours hot water over loose-leaf tea in a glass pot. Steam curls upward. The scent of jasmine fills the air. Evan watches. "You don't drink coffee?" he says. Naomi glances over her shoulder. "I don't need to vibrate through the morning." He smiles faintly. That explains a lot. She sets a mug in front of him anyway. "Water's fine for you," she says. The dog lifts his head hopefully. Evan tears a corner from his toast. Naomi sees it immediately. "Don't!" He freezes mid-motion. The dog's tail thumps. "He asked politely," Evan says. "He manipulates people," Naomi replies calmly. The dog looks between them. Evan lowers the toast. "I respect a good strategist." She pretends not to laugh. Evan glances around the kitchen as he eats. Magnets on the refrigerator, a photo of Naomi standing on a windy beach between her parents, another from her graduation ceremony, a handwritten recipe card tucked under a magnet. This place feels lived in, real, not curated. Evan sets his fork down. "Before you ask," he says gently, "this isn't the auction date." Naomi pauses. Her brow lifts slightly. "No?" He shakes his head. "That belongs to the world that watched us last night." A small beat passes between them. "This," he continues softly, "is just me wanting to see you." She studies him carefully, trying to measure the truth of it. Finally, she gestures to the plate in front of him. "You drove across the city for eggs and tea?" "Technically," he says. "I drove across the city to interrupt eggs and tea." She narrows her eyes slowly. "Then why are you here?" He wipes his hands on a napkin. "I planned breakfast." Naomi looks down at the plate, then back at him. "This is breakfast." "This," he replies calmly, "is survival." A pause. Breakfast is the next stop. She leans against the counter, watching him, suspicious, curious. "And where exactly is this mysterious breakfast?" "You'll see." That's not reassuring. He smiles. "It's not supposed to be." "What's his name?" he asks. Naomi answers without hesitation. "Polly." "It was my mom's nickname when she was younger," she says. Evan nods thoughtfully. "Well, Polly," he says quietly, "you're going to have to guard the house today." The dog tilts his head. Naomi studies Evan again. "You planned this?" "Yes." "How long?" He hesitates just enough to make it honest. "Since last night." Her eyes soften slightly, just slightly. She finishes her tea, sets the mug down, then looks at him. "You have 10 seconds to convince me this isn't a terrible idea." Evan glances at his watch. 9. Dog barks. Naomi exhales. "Fine." But she's smiling now. A few minutes later, she disappears down the hallway, returns with a light jacket, hair loosened from the messy twist. Evan pretends not to notice the way the morning light hits her differently now. He opens the door for her. The dog sits in the doorway watching. Guard the kingdom, Naomi tells him. Polly huffs dramatically. Evan laughs under his breath. They step aside together. The morning air is cooler, the street quiet. Naomi locks the door behind her. If this turns into a corporate brunch, she says, I'm going home. Evan walks around to the passenger side of the car and opens the door. Have a little faith. She raises one eyebrow. That's ambitious. She gets in anyway, and the day begins.
You always kept a little distance, even when you stood this close. Like loving me in daylight was a line you wouldn't cross. We learned the art of silence, let the years just pass us by. But something in the way you look tonight says you're tired of the lie.
If it's just for a moment,
stay a while with me.
Let the world keep spinning.
We can let it be.
You don't have to hide it.
You don't have to speak.
I can feel your heart now.
It's finally reaching me. And I know the morning's coming,
with the noise and the light.
but right here in this quiet, we're finally getting it right.
You've been carrying